Hello, everyone. Before we discuss this week's module, you should note that last week I posted a midterm survey in the Module 7 materials to receive your feedback on the course. While end of the semester evaluations are useful, these are even better because we can take your suggestions and implement them now. So I'd ask you to note that I've designed this survey so that your name is not attached to the responses. That way you can feel free to speak your mind without worrying about anything. Okay, also remember that your first project, the COVID-19 Memorial Competition, is due on Monday, March 29th. This project is worth a lot of points, 60 to be exact. If you keep that in mind, think about it this way. That is the equivalent of 3 weeks of quizzes and discussion questions. If you need more detailed explanations about the project, there's a video in the project's assignment and then the project one folder. And in there, I walk you through the full brief. So if you need more information, walk through that video. Otherwise, by all means, feel free to reach out to me and or your group discussion instructor with questions. All right, now on to the week. This week, we are studying the second of our 8 diversity issues, ethnicity. Specifically, we will look at the relationship between ethnicity and design, obviously. Ethnicity focuses on similarities between people, such as a common language, a homeland, customs, religion, and cultural heritage. It can be based on shared social experiences, such as eating, dancing, and dressing. Ethnicity often is an inherited status based on the society in which one lives or has come from. It follows then that the design of our environments cannot help but have ethnic content. Let's use Buffalo as our example. How are the Irish neighborhoods different from the Polish neighborhoods, different from the Vietnamese neighborhoods, different from the Lebanese neighborhoods, different from the Somali neighborhoods, different from the African American neighborhoods. Each one of these places has a special character that reflects the ethnicities of the residents. One of the complex issues here then is how to determine the right balance between keeping ethnic character and encouraging diversity in our environments. The materials for this week start with a general background on ethnicity. And the first one that we're looking at in terms of the 2 videos we have for the week is a video that explains the differences between race and ethnicity, 2 terms that are often interchanged, but in fact are quite different. The second gives a quick overview of the way that the US grew from 1850 onward. And it's really fascinating to see the immigration patterns and how they've changed. Then we're going to move on to our readings. The first article is on ethnicity and communication design. The author contrasts early ethnic marketing, which attempted to sell Americanized products to recent arrivals, with the post-1960 emphasis on differences. The second article addresses cultural appropriation, which is an ethical issue for designers, to be sure. Given that there are so many blended cultures in the US, it is inevitable that much of our design world is involved in cultural appropriation. The question then becomes, when is it okay and when is it wrong? The third piece addresses ethnicity and landscape design. The authors discuss how 3 underrepresented ethnic communities are revealed through landscape. In addition, they discuss the methods that landscape architects use to go about uncovering these histories. And their methods are so interesting. There are parts of me that kind of wish I had gone into landscape architecture. It seems like such a wonderful thing to do. There are also 2 interesting pieces in the supplemental materials for the week. The first reading tells us the story of 2 Japanese American architects who were assigned the task of designing internment camps for Japanese Americans during World War I. Just think about it. What an ethical dilemma. You're the architects designing these internment camps for your own people. Hmm. The second is a short newspaper piece on ethnic branding of sports teams. There's been a lot of action on that front in the last 10 years, but the history of this topic is really quite interesting. So you might want to check that out while we're in the middle of the NCAA basketball season. And then, of course, you'll take the quiz and participate in the discussion group. If you need a break, you can check out the Something Interesting category. Note that this week there is a part 1 and a part 2. Some of the material might be considered offensive, but it's meant really to raise your awareness. So then think about the physical environment you've experienced. Where do you see traces of ethnicity? What is your attitude about these traces? Do you think that these ethnic characteristics are kitschy, traditional, nostalgic, maybe exotic, beautiful, well-crafted, charming? Your attitudes and those of other young people thought about as a collective can actually determine whether these elements of ethnicity stay or go in our world. Okay, have a good week. It's supposed to be ultra warm, so enjoy those first buds of spring. Stay safe, stay creative, and stay kind. Bye-bye.